Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Whimsicraft. Today we are standing next to the wonderful Crumble, where we're going to be working together on a fantastic project over at his very blank-looking base. But we're going to fix that today. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of the trees over here, and we're going to put them over there.
Yep. Get this over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Should be a fun time. It's a lot of work,
yeah.
but it looks great. So
yeah,
cool.
I think with both of our powers combined, we'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
So how do you want to divide and conquer this?
I think that the planning process should come first, perhaps. Maybe a smattering of netherrack telling us where things are going, and then to kind of work from there, perhaps.
Right.
I don't know if that's how you normally plan, but
I mean, I haven't really done forests, so
yeah,
whatever's the
I like to work out the
best.
density with netherrack, and then kind of slowly replace it with actual trees.
Okay. Right. So, you may have noticed some things have changed. We have gotten rid of all the grass and ferns and flowers and everything around here. Fern, don't pay attention to that. We have placed down these netherrack blocks, and basically what these blocks represent are where the trees are gonna go. So everywhere you see a netherrack block is basically where a tree is going to be. And there's a lot. And this is why we have 2 people, folks.
Scary amount.
Scary amount. But if we pull it off, it's going to look great.
The next thing that we want to do really is not to actually build any of these trees, but to kind of have a feel for how the floor is going to be, because to be honest, some of the terraforming around here is questionable because it's all natural generations, so maybe we want to try and smooth some stuff out, make it feel a little bit nicer to look at, and then we can start considering whether we want to texture the floor or start building some trees. We'll see what we feel like is going to work for this area, because it's just so daunting, even like sectioning pieces off. Alrighty people, I'm back, and Crumb has now logged off, but the most important thing is that we have successfully kind of smoothed out, made the terraforming around this area look lovely. So that means we've got a couple of extra jobs that we need to do now. So there's one thing that I've tasked Crumb with, which is kind of going around the edge of the mountain and kind of making it feel a bit more connected to the land around it. And that means that my job is to gather as many resources as I possibly can. We need so much wood, so many leaves, and so we've got a bunch of empty shulkers, which I am just going to try and fill up. Some of the shulkers will be filled by buying wood, but some of them will need to be filled by hand. So, yeah, because Crumb isn't here and we're not 100% sure what our next plan is, I guess I'm just going to resource gather instead. So, yeah, leaf and wood. Taking a 2-second break from the forest, I want to quickly show you something cool that I worked on a little while ago. This is what I made to fill this space and put an excuse to have a fence here to complete the perimeter around this area. And as you might be able to tell, it is a kind of like wastewater pipe going into the river. I think it's quite fitting for the theming of this area, and with a little bit of help with stream chat, candles got added in, and I think it looks really cool. Oxidizing the trapdoors was extremely painful, but you know, that's the way it is. Alright, let's get back to working over there. By the way, also my microphone might sound completely different. I've been playing with the settings. Hopefully it's better. If it's not, yell at me in the comments. Thanks. While I chop down this tree, I'd like to take an opportunity to tell you about a link in the description. Yes, in the description you will find a fantastic link to my Razor affiliate link scheme. Yes, with that you can support the channel and use a brand that I think is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm not going to yap too much about it, but yeah, the amount of leaves that I need for this project is, like, genuinely diabolical. I need to get content out of it, like, oh my god. After I mine this tree, I'll flex some of my statistics, because, yeah, this is like the last set of leaves that I need to get all the resources, so I can kind of do a little bit of showing off, you know. So, yeah, let's just go through here now. I probably should mine the wood of this tree too, but to be honest, I bought all of the wood, so yeah, don't need any of that. Okay, wonderful. Let's pick all of these up. And in a second, we get to open the menu and have a look. Statistics, items, mined. Okay, we haven't seen a leave at 10,000. Oh my god. 10,000, 7,000, 7,000, 5,000. Oh, the grass as well. Oh my god, dude. That's actually crazy. Like, I knew it was going to be in the thousands, but that is actually diabolical. Okay, cool. Let's stop flexing stats and actually do some stuff. And if you're wondering why I've got no levels, there was an oopsie which you will see at some point. Maybe next episode. We'll see. All right, let's go. We have obtained shulkers. Well, I've obtained shulkers.
All right. I've been busy.
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of stuff, and I guess what we want to do is build some trees. But Grum doesn't know how to build the trees, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of a teaching session, I guess.
Yay!
Whoa! So what we're going to do is we're going to start, I guess, just grab out some oak. If you can remember which box is in.
Here. It's like a Bob Ross paint along.
Yeah, and then you can craft up some fences and, you know, other stuff. And then you need to craft a little bit of the full wood blocks, because those are used around the base a little bit.
I hate how they give you 3. It's
So
so
expensive.
Stupid.
It is not stupid, it's logical.
I hate it.
Alright, so the process is start by, you know, just stacking up a little bit. And then from here, the most important thing with these is generally they have a bit of a lean. You can choose what direction lean you go in, but you want to lean somewhere, and generally you want to like use a slab or a bit of the normal wood to try and, I guess, make an overhang.
Okay.
So that it kind of, I guess, feels natural, which is of course the whole point. Once you've happily stacked up a little bit, you can then do some branches outwards, and they're going to be just like 1 or 2 logs. And then once some logs are in, you can kind of maybe go up and make a branch on a slightly different level. But the whole point is generally that you're just trying to make a couple of nice offshoots to, yeah, get some branches off. You don't want them to be perfect because they're trees, and trees are never look perfect. So if you're not happy with something, it's actually better to just leave it, because then it looks better. And because we're going to build 12 trillion of these, it's very unlikely that anyone will ever notice. We're just using normal oak leaves, we don't need anything else. Right. And then we can just kind of spam them around. Yeah, I think we can move on and have a tutorial for the next hardest tree, which is the spruce trees.
I'll do the one up here.
Alright. And what you're going to do is just stack up until it feels right. Something like that. And then once you get up to a certain point that you feel is okay, swap out and then keep going with walls. Probably 5 or 6 walls. So these are pretty tall. I'm not gonna make it. Okay. Oh, so hard.
Right.
Right, there we go. Got there eventually.
Oh yeah.
Oh Okay.
Hello there. Oh, Toby, you're down there. Hi. I was gonna give the shulker box back to you. Thank
Cool.
you for letting
It's
me
crumb shock.
try. Okay. Oh, that's why it said gluten. I was so confused if it was Toby's shulker.
No, I stole it off crumb. Okay, and then you want to drop to where the tuff meets the wood. Maybe a block or two higher or lower. And then from there you can make your first branches. Oh, that's a bit too low.
Yeah, I messed up.
Yeah.
You messed up big time.
Okay,
I made severe and continuous lapse in my judgment. So, like, I noticed yours are kind of all on the same level. Is that what?
Yeah, because we're going to do a few levels and we don't want them to be, like, too squiff. The, like, slight variety in height can actually come from the leaves, if we want.
Hmm.
But the thing about spruce trees is they always kind of grow in really solidly defined layers.
Oh, my foot's asleep.
Yeah.
Wake it up. Good morning.
Thank you for that.
Right.
Nice. Alright, so the next stage with this is the simpler stage. Put a bit of wood and, you know, balls and random rubbish on the floor to kind of make it look like it's not going to fall over. And then you're good. Then you chill. Beautiful. Good job, Grump. How'd you feel about that tree?
Not as confident as this tree, I would say.
Well, that means that the next tree we're going to do is the smallest. And it's the birch trees. Place a wall, and then we're going to go, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that. Whatever you feel like. And then I find it easier to place a couple, and then you're going to drop down. And this is where the real difficulty of these trees comes in. Where you've just got to really try and get that ratio perfect.
How's that looking?
Alright, what are you thinking? What are you thinking with this one?
I think it looks alright.
Alright, you are happy to move on?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, the next one we're going to do is the tall ones, the spire oaks. These are quite tall, but they're tall because we then go up maybe 5 or even 6 more with these. And then
There's no ender chest crumbled.
Yep.
There is.
It's behind the pillar. Okay, and then these we're going to start from the bottom and try and build up.
I forgot
But
to grass. 1 sec.
you don't have to do the grass. About half of the
Well,
exposed
too bad.
moss blocks will have grass, and half of them will, half of them won't.
I need a new stack of rockets.
Yeah, I think I've run through a stack already. Alright, and then from the bottom, we're going to make stripes of azalea leaves. The way that these trees grow is quite strange. They grow in like weird long units. Yeah, that was a nice one. Kind of came together nicely. Which means that we've got the last one to do. And this last one is similar in that it's a little bit more dense, but obviously it's the round top. These are ash trees, and of course they're very like straight up round blob at the top feeling. So we're going to try and emulate that with acacia, tuff, and birch. Now the real challenge with building these trees is keeping all of the resources in your inventory at once. Which is somewhat impossible, but I do try. This one's a little bit shorter because the way that the canopy works is that we're gonna have quite a lot of verticalness happening with it. Have a looky. Oh yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Needs a tad of refining in places, but yeah, very nice. There we go. And now the fun thing about this is now that we've built a substantial section with a certain amount of recording time, is that we can get a rough calculation of how long this is going to take. And it's looking like it's going to take about 40 hours, 40 man hours. So 20 each. Something like that.
If there was one person to get on this project.
Now is the time where we either have a satisfying time lapse or a bunch of jump cuts of just building as many of these as we possibly can.
Yeah.
For the next, I guess, couple days, perhaps we'll just be grinding this and seeing how much we can do.
Yeah, log on, build trees, log on, build trees. It's probably going to be my daily routine for the foreseeable future, but...
Let's hopefully make some serious progress.
Yeah, hopefully.
Alrighty people, a little update before this video releases. It's actually 2 days before, and yeah, this is looking pretty fantastic. But that is the only angle that it looks fantastic from, because all of this is yet to come. We do have a lovely little path here, which is very, very fancy thanks to Crumb. But yes, we still do have some ridiculously large number of trees, which I am not going to count for fear of how big the number will be. However, I did do a good job in getting all the resources, so yeah, I guess it's time for me to keep building. I'm purely recording this segment out of procrastination, but I do think it is nice to see at least some of the progress. But yeah, you can see my inventory is chock full of stuff, so yeah, I'm gonna get back to it. 6 million years later. Alrighty people, yes, we have finished. I can't believe it.
We've done it.
It took so long, dude.
It took so long, like 6 days, yeah?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. But we have got there in the end, and it looks sick.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with everything we did together. I think in the end we probably did a similar amount of trees, because obviously this last section you did while I was asleep. So yeah, very, very cool. Next time we'll be building the floor, which can be an interesting challenge. It's obviously a lot of blocks, but it's actually significantly simpler because you're just kind of throwing down random stuff and hoping it looks good. However, what is interesting is that we've got quite a lot of empty space, so filling that up with nice big bushy leaves and lots of tall grass and perhaps flowers, stuff like that, should make for a little bit more of a challenge than my area that is a little bit more simple. So yeah, that is very awesome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to that fantastic stuff, and yeah, this was a really fun episode, so I will see you later. Bye.